Welcome back. It's the final of the World Pool Championships from Manila in the Philippines. It's been a long week, but now just two men remain. Alcano against Souquet in a race to 17. And it's a good start by the local favourite, Alcano. He's got a 2-0 lead. As the applause will settle down, Ralf Souquet will be in his own world. He won't be hearing any of this as he steps up to the table now to break off. Let's rejoin our commentary team in Manila.
All right. Souquet's eyes focused on the break shot. What a way to park that cue ball.
And what a piece of bad luck here. All he has is a very testy 1-8 combination. I'm not going to be surprised, folks, if he ducks here.
Yeah. I don't know. He needs a win. What would you do here, Steve?
Well, I think he turned down an opportunity in the first rack, and it turned against him. I don't think it was necessarily the wrong shot, but it came out that it turned against him. I don't think he could afford really to turn this one down, because at some stage you have to play a certain amount of aggression.
Usually when you take these combinations, you want the two numbered balls to be close together, but here there's a good foot between them.
Beautiful shot from Souquet. Shows the precision of this man's shot making. That 8-ball went right in the middle of the pocket. And look how he played position on the 1. Souquet has a wonderfully analytical mind.
And he is quite a deliberate player, especially under pressure. I'm sure he's no fan of the shot clock in other tournaments.
Well, you know, I've seen him play under the shot clock a lot, and it never seems to bother him. But he does like to, he's a methodical player, shall we say.
Even with his weaker hand, look at this, left-handed.
Always a bit more difficult when you play with your weaker hand to get the pace right. You may get the line right.
Yeah, he looked like he came up a little short there. I mean, he's got a great angle for position, but the shot's a bit tougher.
Half a ball, perhaps half a ball short,
Yeah.
but it can be enough at this game. That can cause problems. But I think he can just float this down past the 7 ball and send the cue ball across to the 3. But it obviously makes this, it's missable, whereas half a ball perhaps it's not. That's the difference.
Right.
Uh-oh.
He has missed it. And Ralf Souquet cannot continue to give up opportunities.
He's gotten lucky, though. The 6 ball is in the way.
Well, he may be in the way, but he knows that he should never have allowed his opponent to the table. That rack was doable.
Well, he's been slow out of the starting blocks, and the problem now is, can he recover mentally? It would be nice if he can get away with winning this rack. Can Alcano keep the pressure on?
Oh, look at that.
That's a great shot.
I think that's a situation where Alcano really welcomed those small pockets, didn't he?
Well, that shot he played there, Bob, was a shot that you can play on tighter pockets. He wouldn't dare play that if the pockets were big. It was a bit close, though.
Yeah, we got a bit of a smile out of Alcano on that shot. Skillful shot, but fortune still on his side.
But Ralf can see plenty of this 2 ball.
It doesn't go into the bottom right corner. I'm not too sure if he can see enough of it to go into the center.
It doesn't appear so.
I know it's early in the match, but worrying times for Ralf. Wouldn't like to go 4 racks behind with Ronnie to serve, so to speak. Should he win this one?
That's right. That could easily happen if Alcano can capture this rack away from Souquet's break and then break and run his own rack, that would be a handsome 4-rack lead. Souquet still being patient.
He wants that up against the rail. I don't think it got there. This is cuttable.
Well, now you have to take into consideration the fact that Alcano is spending a lot more time at the table than is Souquet. So his arm will loosen, his muscles will relax, and Souquet needs some table time.
Oh, no, that's thick.
Well, now, the 2-ball proving worrisome. Alcano cannot believe this. I haven't seen him miss a shot like that all week.
That didn't threaten the jaws. He was worried too about shape on the red 3 on the other side of the table.
Settle down then, nice and quiet.
Yeah, the natural path of putting that 2, I think, was leading into the 3, and he didn't want to collide with it because he couldn't predict the outcome. This looks fairly easy for Ralf position-wise. He's still got to make the balls, and he's reeling a bit. He's on the ropes just a fraction. I know it's early. There's a long way to go.
No, I agree with you.
That's the worst he's looked so far in the tournament,
Yeah.
facially, sitting in the chair thinking, is it all going to unravel again? Because he had a bad time in that last World Championship against Mika, didn't he?
Yes, but you know, right now, he's really been given a gift just to be at the table. Alcano should have owned this rack, and before him, Souquet should have owned it. So, early days, nerves on the part of both players. They'll settle down toward the middle of this event.
And it looks like Ralf Souquet perhaps struggling a bit with the pace of the table. I'm sure he's about 2 inches farther. Although in fairness to him, it was a very small landing area.
Yeah, but his arm is not behaving as well as it did yesterday. That will change when he has a little more table time. What both these players really need is what we call a roadmap layout for a rack where they can just get out there and let their arms work and convince themselves that the wrist, and the hand, and the arm, and the brain are all on the same track.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And this partisan crowd likes that result, don't they?
Welcome to the twilight zone. A nightmare is unfolding at the moment for Ralf. Shots that should be easy, positional shots that don't have that much difficulty, going wrong.
Yeah, Bob, you said it. He just does not have the pace of the cue ball yet.
Of course, the one scenario where a player wouldn't settle down is if he lost touch with his opponent in racks, and then sometimes you never recover.
Yeah. If these 2 balls are frozen, Souquet has the luxury of being able to stroke with a level cue and stroke right through the shot. If they are not touching, our referee will be watching for a double hit, which would be a foul, which would be the Q-tip hitting the cue ball twice.
Just for the UK viewers, I know
Yes.
that there are other people around the world watching, millions.
Yes.
How much of this can he hit? How much of this can he play? Because this would be a foul. If it was touching, that would be a foul at snooker. So how much is he? You can't really push straight through it,
Yes.
can he?
As long as the balls are touching, he can stroke straight through it.
What, right through the middle of it?
Indeed.
What, just whoosh all
Just
the way
whoosh
through?
all the way through.
Pushing through?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I guess he would have loved to have that touching ball rule they have in snooker, wouldn't he, Steve?
Just play away.
Yeah.
Well, this has gone wrong. This is a big one for Alcano.
Well, he's jacking. Is he jacking up on this one? Yes, he is. Wow.
And In its own way, that was as good as Ralph's 5-ball. Perhaps
Absolutely.
not as critical a moment in the match.
Absolutely.
But when you're trying to keep your opponent under pressure, still a big moment, 3-1 or 4-0.
Yeah, when we're talking about Ralph's 5-ball, we're talking about the shot we showed you in the introductions yesterday in the semifinals when Ralf played a magnificent shot on the 5-ball to win his match and gain his berth in this championship.
Now, didn't Ronnie miss something like this the other day? A 9-ball?
I believe so. No repeat.
Still a goose egg on the ledger of Ralf Souquet.
Yeah, and the crowd is really loving this. Their local man, Alcano, leading the former world champion 3-0, and it's Ronnie's break. If it were any other player in the other chair, I would say that he was really in trouble. But Souquet has always exhibited a tremendous amount of mental strength. If there's anyone that can handle this situation, it's Ralf Souquet. You take a look. This is the way that Alcano holds the cue stick. 2 fingers right at the end of the cue. I don't know of any other cueist that does that.
I think you need a very liberal definition of the word hold there.
Rack 4.
Yeah, it's just sitting on his
Alcano to
fingers.
break, leading 3 racks to 0.
Ralf, George, Steve to George.
Ronnie Alcano to break, and he could really put enormous pressure on the Kaiser with a break and run out here. There's the soft break. Oh, just barely missed that corner. Look at this.
Bob, everything is going Alcano's way. Now, he could have
Settle
scratched
down
there
there,
because
please.
he's been sending that
Quiet.
cue ball to the middle of the side rail. This time he was off track, but avoided the pocket. And look at the way this table's set up for him.
Yeah, but but he is slightly wrong-sided on this one, and he's, you know, doesn't quite have a huge angle to go around. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages this. There you see about 2, 3, 4 inches to the left of your screen. He'd be perfect, but now he's got the wrong angle. What does he do here, Steve?
I don't know, because I pressed the wrong button and was talking to George, but I'm back now.
I think he will just roll forward.
Just
a little
in case
bit
you knew who
top
George
right
was. We all
check
know
it.
who George is here. He's the most important man in the building. But, well, there's always room for manoeuvre with these great pool players. That's a tough path. And he's getting away with it as well. I think he probably played for the blue too in the opposite corner and really tried a power shot off 3 rails to get down to this bottom left-hand corner, but it still worked out okay. Everything going right for Alcano.
Right now, the pool gods have perched on this man's shoulder. Well, he's got a situation here to handle. The next ball is that pink 4-ball. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Now I'm out of line. It's the red 3. You missed that. You missed seeing that red 3 the other day, Steve.
It's very easily done.
Hello. Slow down.
The difficulty of that shot was the orange 5 was in the way. I thought perhaps he would have played it shorter and then perhaps played the 4-9 combination to hold for position on the 5. Or perhaps he tried to play the position and cannon onto the 5. But as it is, now there's some work to be done for the cue ball. May have to go, if he can cut this in, if he can, then the cue ball is going to be doing some extra mileage.
But I think there should be a pretty easy safety here, don't
I
you
like
think?
the safety here. Send that cue ball up table and bring the 4 back behind the 9 or the 6. Can give Ralph's nervous arm a lot of distance to work with. Although Alcano, aggressive player, he loves taking the offense.
No, he's He was looking at the other way for a moment.
Yeah, sending the 4-ball away.
Well, if you can cut the 4-ball in, he must go for it. You know, you cannot afford to turn down too many, unless he knows that he's not going to get position at all. But in and out of the bottom area of the table.
He went for it.
He hasn't landed too bad, though.
No, he hasn't.